Good afternoon. This is Betty Meredith, President of the Retirement Resource Center, a retirement education and training company for professionals, clients, and consumers. And I'm happy to be your host today for helping clients provide for their child and protect their retirement with special needs planning, trust, benefits, and ABLE with Derek Graham, partner at Resch, Root, Phillips & Graham, LLC in Dublin, Ohio, is our presenter. Parents of a child with developmental disabilities have a variety of financial implications to consider. From waivers to government benefit programs, parents need to understand how their actions or inaction can impact a child's eligibility for various benefits. It is important for advisors to be aware of planning strategies to help parents to maximize benefits, plan for their loved one's future, and protect their retirement. Derek Graham is an estate planning attorney and partner at Resch, Root, Phillips & Graham, LLC in Dublin, Ohio. Derek's practice focuses on developmental disability law, special needs planning, guardianship, and probate. Derek's practice in developmental disability law started in 2009 when his oldest daughter was born with Down syndrome. Derek and his wife know firsthand how confusing and complicated it can be when trying to navigate all the medical, legal, social, and benefit-related issues that families face. Derek enjoys helping to simplify the process and teach families about the legal topics that really matter to individuals with developmental disabilities. So Derek, thank you so much for being here with us today, and we'll now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Betty. And again, I would just want to thank the Retirement Resource Center for inviting me to speak on this. These are topics that I'm very passionate about. These are topics that make a big difference if you as a advisor understand and are able to do some appropriate issue spotting. Your clients will notice this. My business partner and I, we teach a class at Ohio State, and we always talk about with financial planners, it's a class for financial planners, and we always talk about how there's a triangle of services. And the bottom of the triangle is what everyone expects from their financial planner, and then the middle of the triangle is where a financial planner can really stand out. But then you've got that top of the triangle and those less encountered issues at the top of the triangle. And when financial planners are able to issue spot and recognize important topics in that top of the triangle, that's when they really, really stand out. And those are the financial planners that you're going to tell your neighbor about, that you're going to bring up in a dinner conversation, that you're going to go home and you're going to tell your spouse very intentionally what that financial planner told you. And so some of the things we're going to talk about today, these are some of the top of the triangle issues where you won't encounter them on a day-to-day basis. But when you do, having some of this information in your back pocket will help you stand out as opposed to other financial planners and other people who work within the industry. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about some of the various government benefits that are available to persons with developmental disabilities. There are a lot. Now, one of the challenges is that government benefits do vary from state to state, but there are overarching themes that are true in every state. So we're not going to be able to get into the nuances of your specific state, but we can talk about some of the themes that are true throughout every state. We're going to talk about understanding how a child with a developmental disability may be impacted when a parent elects to draw Social Security benefits. There's a lot of information out there about when to draw Social Security and how much you're going to draw, and the cost benefit analysis of drawing at certain ages. Again, I find one of those top of the triangle issues being that when financial planners recognize what it does for your entire family, including your adult child with a developmental disability, that separates them from others. Because when I retire someday, it will have an impact on my daughter with Down syndrome, and understanding that impact and understanding how my drawing Social Security impacts her will help me make the best possible decisions. And then we're going to talk about strategies used to protect eligibility for these benefits. Parents of children with developmental disabilities are going to become advocates. They have to. The system requires that of them. Their families require that of them. And so understanding how to get those benefits is important, but it's just as important to understand how to protect eligibility, making sure that the parents or the parent's death or something of that nature doesn't then mess up those very things the parents spent their lifetime advocating to attain for their loved one. So those are our learning objectives. A little bit more about outline. We're going to start by talking about the benefits available, some of the Social Security programs, and then protecting benefits and bad planning. I always like to talk about some of the things you want to stay away from, red flags that should jump out to you if you see them out in the field. Now, Betty alluded to this in the introduction, and it is very true. Parents and families who have a loved one with a developmental disability, they encounter a lot of confusion in life. I am an attorney. I've been an attorney for 5 years when my wife and I had our first child. And before we ever left the hospital, and we were, my daughter, when she was born, she had some medical issues. We were in the hospital for quite a while. When I say we, she was in the hospital for quite a while, and she's been back many, many times since. Even being an attorney, I will never forget day 3, day 4 of her life, being handed all these packets by hospital social workers who are giving me information about things like Medicaid and SSI and all these other things. And I'm thinking, well, surely I don't qualify for any of this stuff, and why do I care about this? We have health insurance. And I can remember getting packets of information, and I can remember throwing them away. And then I can also remember later on being confused about, why did they give me that, and did I do something wrong by throwing it away in a huff? What's going on there? Parents and families who have loved ones with developmental disabilities have a lot to learn, and it's the more you can help them, again, that will absolutely make you a top of the triangle planner that is remembered and talked about among social circles, and more importantly, you'll be doing great service for your client.